So, I was initially gonna do my list of my top 10 favourite video game endings before I realised something. I'm a cynical asshole, and most video games like to say fuck you to the players when they slog through 20 plus hours of a game and then stick the middle finger right in their face. So in light of the year ending, it's about time we discuss the shittiest, most retarded, and overall fucking abysmal video game endings of all time. A disclaimer, most of these games are actually pretty good. The problem is that most of the time people remember the shitty parts rather than the good parts. A quick reminder, we are discussing endings, so spoiler alert. I'm not sure how much I can spoil these endings because they're so fucking awful you can't ruin them. So let's get started. These are the top 10 worst video game endings of all time. LA Noire is a really unique game. It makes detective work awesome and immersed us in 1940s Los Angeles in a way no game has ever done before. It's a fucking shame that the ending sucks ass though. Why is this ending so bad? It comes out of nowhere. Seriously, I was just shocked, but not in a good way. You're in the sewers trying to escape after a vast amount of water is released. Cole tries to escape, but then all of a sudden, the water whisks him away and you're left saying, what? Wait, what the fuck was that? Next thing we know, there's a funeral, and that's the end. That's the ending to the game. It's so fucking abrupt that it's jarring. You feel unsatisfied with the ending, as if there was more to do, or that more could have been explained, but nope, that's it. The bad guy gets away, Cole is dead, and justice is not done. Fuck. BioShock is a fantastic game that I could never really get into. The story is great, but it wasn't for me. Even with this in mind, I can appreciate the game for what it is, and Infinite definitely won me over later on. The difference between BioShock and BioShock Infinite is that Infinite has one of the best endings of all time, not just in a game, and BioShock, yeah. It's not that the ending is inherently bad, rather it's disappointing. For a game that had such a great story and political themes, it's a bit of a buzzkill that the endings are essentially black and white. You either get the good ending by saving lots of the little sisters, or the bad ending by killing most of them. That's the depth. It's completely at odds with what BioShock was about, and you know what? That's a real shame. And that's why it gets number 9 on this list. I enjoy Call of Duty, particularly the fast-paced, frantic, arcadey gameplay. In a similar vein, some of the Call of Duty games have good stories, particularly Black Ops, which is the strongest story in the series. But that fucking ending, it's the cheesiest piece of fuck I've ever seen. Watch this.
Mason! It is over. We won. For now.
That's it. That's fucking it. You swim to the surface where the cavalry is, and the sun sets over the ocean as guitar music plays in the background. What in the cosmic backflipping fuck is that? When you consider how complex the story of Black Ops became as it progressed, I think everybody was expecting a little bit more than this. It's bad. At least Black Ops 2 improved on it though. Still, this is a shit ending. Hands down bad. And the worst part is the bullshit JFK assassination crap. What about what really went down? How the fuck would Mason have killed JFK without anybody finding out? Why would Lee Harvey Oswald's fingerprints be on the sniper instead of his? I know what Treyarch was trying to do, but don't try and pull out a big shock when it doesn't work. And guess what? It didn't fucking work. We all saw it coming from a mile away, and if we can see it coming from a mile away, you know that you failed hard. I think most people can agree that Kane and Lynch 2 is a piece of shit. The graphics suck, the gameplay sucks, and the story is nothing special. Taking that into consideration, you're probably saying, well, if the game is bad to begin with, then the ending won't be as noticeably bad. No. This is a shit ending. A textbook example of how not to end a game. Just fucking watch. What? What the? No. No, that's not it. It can't be. No! Fuck! That's the ending. I'm not fucking with you. I didn't edit that to make it look worse. That's the goddamn ending. The pair run into a plane, it takes off, and that's it. Speak about unsatisfying. What the fuck happened? This ending is so abrupt. Way more abrupt than L.A. Noire. It comes out of nowhere. Maybe we were expecting a bit more game considering this game is only 4 hours long, but come on! I like Resistance. The games are good if not really revolutionary, but the whole idea of the Chimera is sweet and the combat is satisfying. The same cannot be said for the ending of Resistance 2. You get shot in the head and then it cuts to black. That's the ending. What the fuck? They instilled an idea of hope where there was a possibility Hale could be saved, but nope, fucking shot right in the head where his brain splatter all over the camera. I liked Hale. You know that? I liked Hale. And now he's dead. What the hell is the closure? There is no closure. That's why there isn't any closure. It's shit. Nothing happens. You die, and that's the end. What happens next? Why punish your fans with a ridiculous cliffhanger that makes everybody just toss the controller on the ground and say, nope, no, fuck this, and storm off? Don't do this kind of ending. It's fucking awful. It seems like there's a trend with 2s where they like to just say, fuck you, buy the next game. Yeah, well fuck you, that's what I say. I love Mario. Mario is an icon that defined my childhood alongside Crash Bandicoot. His games can be revolutionary and are so entertaining, though I think we can all agree that Sunshine is the black sheep of the core 3D Mario games. It's by no means bad. In fact, it's still a great game and I'd play it over many games that released today, but the water nozzle bullshit was not as fun as soaring through space. Regardless, the biggest mistake Nintendo could ever make, besides the Wii U, is making Bowser speak. But luckily that's never happened. Right?
The water's great, hey Junior?
Sure is, Papa. Come on in, Mama Peach. I think not. Mario! You again? Don't you ever give up?
Mario! How dare you disturb my family vacation?
Oh great holy fuck. What on earth was that? Bowser sounds like a colossal tool. If Bowser sounds like a tool, you failed. My family vacation? He's Bowser. What fucking vacation? He should be too busy doing, I don't know, stomping Mario and being the king of the fucking Koopas? The battle wasn't much better either, but the fucking voice acting puts it here. Every time I see Bowser, I'll always picture that fat fuck sitting in a hot tub, and that's just wrong. The water nozzle dies, if you care. Nothing should really die in a Mario game, but this ending is just so weird. Bowser and Bowser Jr. sitting on a beach with him lecturing his son? He's Bowser! He doesn't fucking talk! Leave him that way! Call of Duty Ghosts was such a disappointment. I thought this was the game that would put the series back on track, but that clearly wasn't the case. The campaign is the worst of any of the modern Call of Duty games, and most of the characters were god-awful with the exception of the bad guy named Rock. The most insulting part of this game, though, is the ending. Where Black Ops 2 had a range of different endings, all of which were interesting, Infinity Ward completely dropped player choice and gave us this sequel-baiting piece of shit. You've killed Rock. I know I did because I shot him in the fucking lung and he fell into the ocean with a goddamn train sucking him down. You're sitting on the beach with your brother feeling accomplished with the war turned in your favor. The war is run and the credits roll. Yay, Infinity Ward. But wait, Rourke isn't dead and he breaks your fucking arm out of nowhere. I jumped off my seat because it was just like, what the fuck? How the fuck does that work? I shot the motherfucker. He fell into the goddamn ocean. How the hell did he get out without us seeing? Why isn't he dead? This isn't even the worst part. After a big spiel, you get dragged away by the fucker who plans on brainwashing you for whatever reason, which, by the way, his brainwashing was never explained, and your brother does nothing.
You'd have been a hell of a ghost. But that's not gonna happen. There ain't gonna be any ghosts. We're gonna destroy him together. Logan. Logan. Logan!
You know, shouting Logan is all well and good, but that's gonna do jack shit unless you get off your fat ass and save him. Rourke got shot in the chest and has more strength than your arsehole brother who sits by as you get dragged away. What? This is sequel baiting at its finest. There's no resolution, no conclusion, only this piece of shit that is clearly designed to establish Ghost 2. That's fucking terrible. I've never seen a game sequel bait as badly as this. Oh, wait. Picture yourself in this situation. It's 2004. Halo released 3 years ago and revolutionized first-person shooters. You've been waiting patiently, and you've finally gotten your hands on Halo 2. You're playing through and having a blast. Then, you see this.
We've got a new contact, unknown classification.
It isn't one of ours. Take it out.
This is Spartan 117. Can anyone hear me? Over.
Isolate that signal. Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.
What the fuck was that? That was the ending to Halo 2, one of the most highly anticipated games of all time, and you end it like that. Sir, finishing this fight. Come on, that's fucking awful. Imagine how you would feel when you reach the end and then you find this. Oh great, another 3 years before the story wraps up. This game defined sequel baiting, and all shit game endings that have no resolution are compared to this ending. Once it ended, everybody said, oh fuck no! I have to wait for Halo 3! That's how bad it is. It's cheesy, it's unsatisfying, and it's the biggest kick in the balls that you will have ever seen. The worst part is, there are still 2 other endings that are worse than this piece of fuck. And this is the game that defined shit endings for nearly a decade. Until these 2 games came along and decided to top this piece of shit. I like the modern sections of Assassin's Creed. They're interesting. They're not as good as the historical stuff, but they're still interesting. With this in mind, the endings to all the Assassin's Creed games are insultingly vague to establish an overarching story arc regarding the end of the world. All of these endings were bad, particularly the first one. I was expecting something substantial to make up for all the rather disappointing endings to the other games and substantially conclude the Desmond story arc, but what we got was fucking abysmal. Assassin's Creed 3 has one of the most unsatisfying endings of any game. When I played through this ending, I sat in my chair rubbing my eyes in disbelief. I couldn't fucking believe it was this bad. It wasn't just disappointing, it was fucking bad. Everything about this ending sucks. Everything. It's set up terribly, the final choice isn't even up to you, and it's so goddamn vague that there's no closure at all. And all it does is leave you with more questions than before, something I despise in endings. Why couldn't the player make the choice? Because I'll tell you something right now, I would not have made the same choice that Desmond made. Oh yeah, and Desmond dies. He's dead. Great. The lack of closure is really disappointing. What happens to the world after Desmond dies? Is the world saved or fucked? What's Juno's role? What did she mean by, it's my time for the role to begin? Why the fuck is the room even there in the first place? What the fuck is the point of releasing Juno? How does that protect the Earth from the fucking soulless shit? Jesus fucking Christ! You all saw this one coming. It's a no-brainer. It is. It's a no-brainer. This ending was so bad and so disappointing that everybody, everywhere, rallied against this. The worst video game endings are the Mass Effect 3 endings. I can't get mad. This ending pissed me off so much, I actually can't get mad. This ending is awful. It's so disappointing and actively contradicts the lore of Mass Effect, something that is a critical failure for anything, let alone a game as big as Mass Effect. What truly makes the endings to Mass Effect 3 bad though, is the fact that no matter what decision you made throughout the games, they ultimately don't matter, as you still get the same 3 choices of destroy, control, and synthesis. It doesn't matter if you destroy the collector base, or killed the Rachni Queen, or shot Rex in the face. At the end of the game, you still get the 3 options. The most insulting part about these endings though, is that they're all the same anyway. It's the same damn cutscene, but with a different color filter, and in one of them, the Reapers just fall over. It's a non-choice. Your decisions don't matter. The final decision doesn't matter. This makes the whole series seem like it was for nothing. People logged over 100 hours into these games, and this is what we got? Choose what color explosion you like? Even if we assume these endings are the true endings, they don't make any sense. If the mass relays got destroyed, how is anybody able to get back to their home planet from Earth? Why is the Normandy trying to escape the blast? If the blast makes all ships crash like it did to the Normandy, what happened to all the ships above Earth? Do they just plummet to Earth and burst into flames? Do they get stranded in space where all the crew die? That sounds much worse than the Collectors or the Reapers. What is the fate of the galaxy? Why is this ending so bad? I couldn't believe it when I saw it. It's a disaster, and the free DLC can't change my mind. Even those endings aren't what we wanted. Sure, they gave us a little bit of closure, but ultimately, we were expecting much more. There is no substantial difference between the endings. The original endings have no closure, no conclusive ending, and were awful. It's for these reasons that Mass Effect 3 has the worst endings of all time in video games.